OMG, this is their real face. The person you love deeply has written this about you in their journal. According to them, you look like a she. Can you believe it? Someone who means everything to you has been writing about you in secret. Their private thoughts never meant for you to see have finally come to light. What they've written will change everything between you. The words they chose reveal what they truly think when you're not around. The most shocking part, the sentence that begins "you look like a shit" isn't what you think. The truth is far more surprising. The person who wrote this thinks about you constantly. Their journal is filled with your name on page after page. This isn't random. The connection between you two runs deeper than you realize. Have you noticed how they watch you when they think you aren't looking? The way their eyes follow you across the room? The slight change in their voice when they say your name? These are all signs of what they've been hiding. Their journal reveals the thoughts behind these little moments. Private journals never lie. When someone writes in their personal space, they write what they truly feel. No filters, no holding back. Raw emotion poured onto the page. Their journal holds the unfiltered truth about how they see you, words they're too afraid to say to your face. What they've written changes everything you thought you knew about them. These hidden thoughts explain their strange behavior lately, the distant looks, the quick changes in mood when you enter the room. You need to know the full truth now. Tomorrow might be too late. They could realize their journal isn't as secure as they thought. They might hide it away where you'll never find it again. Living in ignorance of their true feelings is dangerous. You're making decisions about this relationship without all the information. Every day you spend not knowing is another day wasted on false beliefs. The energy between you two feels different because of what remains unsaid. This heaviness will continue until the truth comes to light. Their journal holds the key to understanding everything that's been happening between you. The mystery of their recent behavior is solved in those pages, like this video right now, to unlock the first part of what they wrote about you. The journal starts with an entry from 3 months ago. They wrote your name and then crossed it out 7 times on the same page. Their pen pressed so hard on the last one that it tore through the paper. They've been carrying these thoughts about you for a long time. The weight of their unspoken words has been heavy on their mind. That's why they finally turned to their journal. See, they needed somewhere to release what they couldn't say aloud. Their writings reveal a mixture of emotions: confusion, fascination, frustration. The entries jump between admiration and something darker, something they're ashamed to admit even to themselves. Remember last month when they suddenly changed plans with you? Their journal explains why. They wrote, "I had to cancel today. Being around them gets too intense sometimes, especially when they don't realize how they affect me." They've been studying you closely. The journal mentions small details you didn't think anyone would notice. The way you tap your fingers when you're thinking, how you always check your phone after laughing, the specific expression you make when you're trying not to show emotion. These observations aren't casual. They've been cataloging everything about you with incredible attention. The question is why? What leads someone to pay such close attention? Their journal holds the answer. It builds toward that shocking sentence that begins, "You look like a shy." But the complete thought will surprise you. The next page reveals even more. Type "reveal" in the comments to unlock the next part of their secret journal. Their journal continues with more detailed observations about you. They wrote, "I watch them when they don't notice. There's something about their movements that seems so natural yet so deliberate. It's captivating. You've felt their eyes on you, haven't you? That sensation of being watched when you turn away. Now you know it wasn't your imagination. They struggle with these feelings." One entry says, "I tried to act normal today, to pretend I don't notice every little thing they do. It's exhausting keeping this mask on." The mask they mention explains why they sometimes seem distant or cold toward you. It's not dislike. It's quite the opposite. They're trying to hide the intensity of their focus on you. Their journal reveals patterns you never noticed, how they position themselves in rooms to keep you in sight, how they remember tiny details about stories you've told, how they replay conversations with you in their mind afterward. There's an entry from 2 weeks ago that says, "Today they smiled at me in that way again. They have no idea what it does to me. No idea that when they're not around, I see that smile in my dreams." These aren't the words of someone with casual interest. These are the words of someone consumed by thoughts of you. The journal builds toward that sentence fragment you discovered. You look like a shoe. The context surrounding these words changes everything about their meaning, but there's still more to uncover before you understand the full picture. If you want exclusive access to the most private entries in their journal, you can give super thanks of $5 and $10 or $20. Each contribution unlocks additional pages they wrote specifically about your deepest connection. These premium insights reveal thoughts too personal to share publicly and will transform how you understand their feelings toward you. Type 4444 right now to unlock the next level of their private thoughts about you. The journal takes a more confessional, turn-in later entries. They wrote, "I keep trying to find flaws in them, something to make this feeling stop, but even what should be imperfections just make them more real to me. You've noticed them staring at you sometimes, haven't you? Now you know they were searching for something, anything to diminish their growing feelings. Their entries become more frequent over time. What started as occasional mentions of you becomes daily reflections, sometimes multiple entries in a single day, each one analyzing another interaction, another moment between you. There's an entry from just last week. We were in the same room with everyone else, but it felt like we were alone. They looked over, and for a second I thought they could see right through me. See all these things I write here that I can't say out loud. Remember that moment? You looked at them and they quickly turned away. Their journal explains exactly why. The entries create a timeline of their growing fixation. Early writings show curiosity. Middle entries show confusion. Recent pages show something deeper taking hold. They wrote about a dream where you discovered their journal, their exact words. "I woke up in a panic. They found this journal and read everything. All my private thoughts exposed. They looked at me differently afterward. Not with disgust, but with something worse. Pity." This fear explains their protective behavior around their personal belongings. The way they stiffen when you come near, their private space. We're getting closer to understanding that sentence fragment. You look like a ship. Type 555 now for complete clarity on what they truly wrote about you. Their most recent entries focus heavily on their internal conflict. They wrote, "I almost told them everything today. The words were right there on my tongue, but I froze. What if they don't feel the same?" This explains why they sometimes start to say something to you, but then change the subject. Those moments of hesitation weren't meaningless. They were battles happening inside them. There's a full page where they just listed things about you, small details that most people would never notice. The exact shade of your eyes in different lighting. The sound of your laugh when you're truly happy versus when you're just being polite. The specific way you move your hands when explaining something important. They wrote, "It's getting harder to hide this. Yesterday they asked why I was staring. I made up some excuse about being tired. How do I explain that I was counting the different colors in their eyes? Remember that moment?" Now it makes sense why they seem so flustered. The journal approaches that critical page with the sentence fragment you discovered. The page before it says, "I've been carrying this feeling for too long. It's grown too big to contain. Sometimes I look at them and I'm overwhelmed by everything I can't say." You're just one page away from the complete sentence that begins, "You look like a shy." The context of their previous entries transforms everything about what those words truly mean. For those who want the most intimate insights, You can give super thanks of $15, $25, or $50 to access their most private confession. This premium revelation includes the exact moment they realize their true feelings for you and the fantasy future they've written about where you finally discover the truth. Type 8A8. Now to finally reveal the complete truth they wrote about you. Here, it is, the page with that sentence you glimpsed. Now you can see it in full context. They wrote, "I tried explaining to my friend today how I feel. I said, you know when you see someone so beautiful that it hurts? That's how I feel when I look at them. My friend laughed and said I was being dramatic, but they don't understand." The entry continues. "How do I explain that when I see them? Everything else fades. That sometimes I have to look away because the feeling gets too intense." And then, the full sentence you only saw part of. "You look like a shining light in a world that often feels dark to me. When everything else seems gray and meaningless, you bring color back. I never believed people when they talked about someone lighting up a room until I met you. The word wasn't what you thought, not even close. Shining, not whatever your mind feared when you saw those first 3 letters. Their journal continues. "I don't know if I'll ever have the courage to say these things to your face. Maybe these words will stay hidden in these pages forever, but writing them down makes them real. Acknowledging them gives me a strange peace even if you never know." The truth is clear now. The reason for their strange behavior, the meaning behind their distant looks and sudden mood changes, the explanation for why they watch you when they think you aren't looking. Their journal doesn't contain hatred or judgment. It contains the opposite. Type "I understand" in the comments right now to acknowledge you've received the truth they wanted you to know. Now you know what they've been hiding, the weight they've been carrying, the truth they've been afraid to. Speak aloud. This revelation changes how you see every interaction you've had with them. Those moments of strange tension, the times they seemed lost in thought while looking at you, the way they remember details about you that no one else notices. Their journal has given you a window into their soul, a truth they couldn't find, the courage to share directly. What you do with this knowledge is up to you, but you can no longer say you don't know how they truly feel. Type Amen to seal this revelation and honor the truth that's been revealed.